Morning. I am shooting day 2 of Andile's Business Indaba, classic occasions Business Indaba. Flip, guys, it is so cold here, so I don't want to be late, right? Because akunzima ukuvuka ekseni. Ooh, the early birds. Never, not me. Hi guys. Oh.
Hello, you and camera.
Hi. Yo guys, I could not. I made sure.
Were you cold yesterday?
I was. And you know what? I forgot to bring my socks. I'm like, flip.
Yeah, I brought a different scarf to break the rain, and I realized that I didn't.
Guys, I feel like if someone can just bring me socks, because I'm like, yo, I'm too lazy.
Guys, let me call.
Too much.
Okay.
Not yet.
The sound is here.
Good.
Oh my god.
Is this all we have? And your nani music,
You will know, would say one bunch of rose of a particular color needs to give me a round posy I4 if I'm going to be using 5 stems from each bunch. Let's say you're using 3 bunches of roses. Yeah? It's your cappuccino rose, it's your vandella, it's your avalanche. You're going to use 5, 5, 5. So each posy, you're using 15 stems, but it's different colors because I need to, you're designing it in that way. And then over and above that, also add the texture using abo carnations, abo lithianthus, and all the other types of roses that will add texture to your arrangement. Then you know, with carnation will it's 20 stems now, so now you can use 1 bunch for 4 arrangements. Ilicianthus has 10 stems. Then you'll tell yourself, okay, it generally has, 1 stem has generally about 2 to 3 flowers on it. So maybe you'll use 2 stems or 3 stems in 1 arrangement. Yeah? Then even when you lay out, this is how I was taught flowers. When you do your flower prep and you do your flexings and your hula and whatnot and that, then you'll take your 5 whites, you'll take your vandellas, I5, then you start separating and you start doing your arrangement, knowing which these are all the flowers that I am using for this 1 arrangement. Now, you will do buffers there. However, buffers are there for you to add, but they shouldn't be there because you've under-calculated. Yeah? Ever find yourself in a situation where you've bought a lot of flowers, but nothing set up? You're like, and you're like, but how? And that's what happens to me now. When I buy flowers, I do flower count in my head. So Amanda would she'd send me the list of flowers that she wants, I'd give her a concept, and then when I do my buying and we buy on auction, I do them having calculated the flower count. Okay, we would have used X amount of stems on 1 arrangement. The buffers are there for the sides, your side flowers. Yeah? And already you would have told yourself what I know as 2, I3. Those are your buffers. Yeah? And then you get to the wedding and your florist team says, and you're like, but how? It's because you guys are not doing flower arrangement. Hey, you will run out of flowers, or you will overspend on flowers unnecessarily. But when you do your flower count, and you know it's okay, the client doesn't want greenery, then how am I going to do this? You're not going to use a lot of roses just to cover your arrangement. No, use your cheap flowers to close the oasis. So you can use your sprays to close the oasis. And then if you're not so fully like with spray, spray that much. So it kind of looks like you haven't even used this spray. So you use your spray or your cheap roses or cheap flowers just to cover the oasis.
Greetings and salutations. I thought I was going to be formal, and I'm fine. I alternate. I'm not alternate. So sorry, I just have to acknowledge. How are you? Greetings everyone. Good morning to you. I hope it's a lovely morning to all of you. Thank you, Ndu, for the introduction. I think you're making things more focused to talk about business. We are being monitored. This is what we call Big Brother. Who watched Big Brother? I don't have the luxury of TV. I watch Big Brother. No?
Yes.
Big Brother is always
Watching.
You've got registered businesses. And Big Brother is always watching. Who's our Big Brother?
SARS.
Oh, you know him. He talks to you. You want it or you don't, he's watching. I don't want to go much into detail, but I want to highlight a few things that I've mentioned. I spoke about integrity. That means you must be honest. And the best way to be honest is to be honest with yourself. How you conduct yourself. It's very important. Big Brother wants honest people. You can't play him around. You'll be caught founding. He wants his share. And when you are doing things right, you cannot be an expert in everything. You can't. You see, take a doctor for an example. They run surgeries, right? They run surgeries. Are they business people or they're just practitioners? I'm about to call
They're practitioners.
Are you running away? Just joking. They are doctors. Their skill is to assess, check the conditions and everything that is happening. And she's having a gig there. You get another gig. Now you want to split your teams and you're compromising your quality. Call her. Call her. What's wrong? Call her and say, hey, I've got a gig. That is integrity. That is the attitude we're referring to. Your heart must be pure for your things to be generated. If you are malicious, you don't have your heart in the right place, stand outside, step out of it. You're not part of us. If you see that this person is not integral, they want to swindle, they want to maneuver, they want to connive, then you're not that person is not in the right place. They must step aside. We deal with people that are in the right place, because if you don't associate yourself with greatness, you won't go far. Sure. You go somewhere and change 10 rand, somewhere and change 25 rand. Transportation is charged here, transportation is not charged there. But when you now bring your heads together, okay, alas, ukuthi ngiphuma kuphi. Mina la ngiphuma khona kune-taxi rank. I-taxi rank kunemarket. Ne? Laba mama bayadayisa. What do? They're selling the same things at the same price. Same price. They're buying from the same bag. That bag, when it comes to tomatoes, they take their crates, they all stand there, they buy, and then they package them, they sit there. Their situations are the same, but they are making a living. Why? There's a uniformity of some sort. What will make a fall to this is when you're not uniform. If a chair is 10 rand, it's 10 rand. It does not mean good when you're making a chair 9 rand, people will come to you because your chair is 10 rand. No, people don't buy the price that you offer things, they buy you. They're sitting at the same place. Mara low, mama low. In their kitchen. Because honestly, people's skills. When you are buying or you're not buying, she greets you. When you are buying, she asks, what's your name? I'm Robbie. Oh, Robbie, location. And then tomorrow, hi, Robbie. People's skills. Now, I'll come back to you, ne? Can I? Ostoko Steiner Janne? Steiner 70,000, for an example. And because na buki one, mashito channel. Because na buki one, Stalaba o enda democrat deposit. Because never never and they can go somewhere because the lowest told utabaya lane, so just couldn't go to make a shop and have a locker in for the time. Now I sharp deposit the man on. I just stay with someone. Born. Now the process is that you quoted me by voice, about people. You are passionate about people. You do your best to make sure that not just your name, but your art as well. Because remember, besides what you're being business about it, you've got an art. Your decor is something else. People stand and wow, this is, you know, you make people's memories. The best thing that can always happen is when you've done a job and they come to you and say, you know what, you've made my day. Thank you. But we must also have, in closing, we must also have an element to grow. We must know that we want to grow, create a legacy. We're not a one-hit wonder. Shy album, that is South Africa slime. No, maybe that's mismanagement. Let us not be mismanaged. If we've got the art, we've got the art, it must grow. People must take after us, we must correlate with each other. We must dream big. Now I'm going to take it to church. Are they?
Last one.
No, I mean.
At what point do you now appoint an accountant? So, what's like kind of one level? The shakater and satira and now she goes, she registered and stuff, and maybe Habi sponsors 20 chairs and 2 tables. At what point in the business do you now appoint an accountant?
500,000 legal. That's what the law says. 500,000 turnover per annum. That's how you qualified to be a vet vendor.
Sell these or this is what I did with my steel Tiffany chairs. Do you remember? Yeah. My steel Tiffany.
Guning, Chomi. But all the key things I've taken from here is that liability with that guy. Because it ensures should someone get injured, at least you've got that backup. They cover the medical whatnot, they can back it up. And then the contracts, if I hire chairs from you, I make it hey when if you don't sure. Let's look out things. Ooh, dessert.
Is that how you're supposed to be?
But that's so sexy. Guys have big voices though.
This one was turned on. Like guy was like, oh, okay, sharp.
Yes, you can.
So everyone is
problem with this already. I wanted to ask, but I was scared because I always ask a lot of things. My question is, I want to know budget that line and I refer budget. And as I refer budget, do we now build a quote based on the best of the best, or do we quote based on what we think she can afford? And this is what I normally fight myself with. I want to
because
know
then you're scared if you give them the best, they're gonna run. They won't.
They always run. They run.
Can this be cheaper?
Yes, I don't want. Or remove this. Remove. I don't need wine glasses. Reversing the wine. Oh, I remember. But I'm changing it. I don't do that.
It's the pictures she sent.
Has she sent us pictures? Oh, yeah.
Because she said she liked the things that are hanging
on top. We've got a plan.
Yes, she has fantastic.
So she's
meaning this is a VIP, it's a OTT.
Guys, she wants celebs. She's got celebs coming.
And she wants to buy. It's an OTT over the top setup, kind of a setup. Yes.
Okay.
Next
stripes. So step one.
Overflow
outside.
On the cabana. Yeah.
It's outside. It's gonna be the lounge.
If it's a large setup, are we going to put it in a cabana? We're going to put it in a stretch tent.
Cabana. Yes.
Cabana
for 50.
Cabana. Let me tell you, from cabana on that day we already have a marquee, which is a frame tent. That's great. But then cabana, how na le moya air. So overflow.
So what is it?
Le masela a dripping a tloba a dlala a etsa so. What if on a pula or it drizzles?
So if I get inside
and a couch that I hired,
okay, I'm still gonna get sheets. I'm still gonna get sheets. Maybe the weather is cool. It's fine. It's warm. It's okay.
But you must always prepare for the worst.
Yeah.
Shumi,
So are we putting the overflow inside?
How big a marquee tent will we need now?
Yeah, the size of the marquee. Tomato tent.
In the outside, man.
Oh, not stage.
So cool. You mean? Then they're not part of the wedding. No, not the big speakers.
So they need some VIP feeling. So, but we can't put them outside.
You can't. Never.
So we're giving how are you going
to cut sharp? I want us to be sibuisane, like bring each other back. So
the last one. So I think the little of normal budget. Only it's gonna take them the full 2 days. Why glass or not, PVC glass or not, like
okay, when it's the one that needs
it's got those screws. It's like I see that so more
okay, hence
yeah, 7,000. all our budget there, 80,000 the way
Will be
The accommodation, transport,
Catering for the staff is there.
Okay. In that corner, can you write meals, transport, and accommodation? Those three things, and how much you'll estimate it.
Just right up.
Which she paid for your amount to pay.
Especially with COVID and stuff. So each of the doors will then have a fire extinguisher, just in case. Right. So there'll be DJ Tira, one of the celebrities. So obviously we need security. We also coach.
That's the biggest one.
Yeah, we coach.
I'm so glad you thought of that. That is the biggest one. Like, well
My
done.
name is Sandra.
So it starts with the system, the interaction. From the time they either text or email or call, Nandan, it starts there. Putting your best foot forward. So now I'm talking branding and marketing. Yeah? I think Ukoki has had an experience with the system. You've hired stuff from us, né? So you've had yeah. So there's a client portal side where client has access to viewing their past quotes, to making changes. They can write comments. They can generate their own statements. It's very interactive. They can send us notes via the system. It keeps everything on the system. So even if I've made that mistake of the wrong dot in the wrong place, which the system will make because it auto-calculates, when you make changes to it, it asks you, why are you making changes to this invoice? I have to put notes. And then even if the change was just a dot, the system keeps a history and commentary of everything on the side of the aisle that would determine whether you're doing, we call this fishbone. So when you're doing a bridal consultation, you'll tell the client, depending on where the landscape of where you set it up, whether it's a stratine, which is narrower, or you'll either do a fishbone set up, which is this, or you'll do long tables, or you'll do whatever.
Me, Nina, Sonipani. There is offense.
How could you?
Everything is like it girls are I'm getting a chip that I'm gonna go up and down yes, the Sibash chef. Yes. Uba no ngathi siyagowisha.
Did it come out nicely? Yes.